Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Star Wars Xwing, the 1998 Collector's Edition that features all the DLC. This is a very interesting mission. This mission has you running from one side of the screen to the other as a Nebula Frigate belonging to the Empire drops off TIE bombers. Now these TIE bombers are going to try and attack all your medical shuttles, your medevac shuttles and corvettes that are dropping off the wounded. Let's hear from good old Admiral Akbar, who's going to give us a mission briefing. But straight off the bat, you can see Protect the Medical Frigate. There are many wounded following the previous mission. We've got 4 X-Wings in play, and they are going to have their hands full, taking out all the TIE fighters, all the bombers, 6 ships on the screen at the same time, before they all dock and then get to hyperspace.
The frigate Redemption is receiving wounded from the Bridger evacuation. Red Squadron's X-Wings will fly cover until the last shuttle arrives. Stay alert for Imperial marauders and protect our wounded. The frigate Redemption is...
So like I said, a bit of a tricky mission. The Nebula Frigate's going to jump in here from the Empire and then launch bombers and fighters, and I'll have you running over there to engage. And then what it's going to do is it's going to draw you to the other side of the map as it jumps over to the left-hand side, and it's going to drop some over there. Ideally, what you want to do is hang about and loiter in the middle, taking things away. So, here we go. We're leaving the Defiant. Going to be a long old mission. This is a good old 18 minutes worth of mission. So, the same old thing. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer the laser energy into the shields, get that all stored up. But it's generally sitting around and waiting for the first, 2 to 3 minutes. A little bit boring. Yes, all the corvettes jump in, and, the other medical shuttles, they jump in, and that's great. I'll just recharge my lasers. We detected that corvette, so that's ours. If we go through, we can see red 1, 2, or we're red 2, red 1, red 3, and red 4. These are the medevac shuttles that carrying the wounded. They've got a dock with that Nebula frigate there, and so is the Corlon. But here's the thing, right? And this is where, you think you'd have more than one, but that's the game, I understand. It's very serial, right? Each one of those shuttles has got to fly to the Nebula frigate, then it's got to dock, then it's got to transfer its wounded, then it's got to undock, then it's got to jump off to hyperspace, then the next one's got to do it until all 3 shuttles are done. And then that corvette's got to do it. All in the meantime, here comes the frigate jumping in its first location. Dropped off some TIE bombers at 11 kilometers from the current position, and you would be very tempted to put your foot down and fly directly for that Nebula frigate, taking out the bombers and the TIE fighters. But here's the thing, and we'll see it in a minute. As soon as, that Nebula frigate jumps in, it drops its fighters off, drops its bombers off. We are very tempted to go charging all the way towards it. Then what it does is it jumps out. It jumps out of system. You can go to the map and have a look, and it's not there. Then what happens is, once you've dealt with them and you're all, 11 kilometers away, it jumps in a bit closer and drops some more off. How sneaky is that? Well, I'll tell you how sneaky it's that. It is Empire sneaky, and that is exceptionally sneaky indeed. So here we go now, right? We've got the TIE bombers, and they're about 6 clicks away. Now we're going to engage our full power. Don't want to get too far out of that initial scope of the gap. You can see where we are. There they are. That's where I am in yellow, and there's the hostiles marked in red. Okay, you can see the shuttles are getting closer and what have you as well. And the corvette is just hanging around and loitering. So there's our medevac shuttles, and there's the Korolev. Now, TIE bombers first, because they're going to start launching missiles at your shuttles and at the corvette. I have found, and I've played this mission a couple of times now, that the corvette is #1 target for this, right? As soon as they take the corvette, you can't win the game. You might as well just press H, hyperspace out, admit your failure, and away you go. Now, Shuttle Medevac 1 is now docked with the Redemption, which is the Nebula frigate. Now, as you can see, the Nebula frigate has jumped back in again on the other side of the map, now 13k away. Just not so bad. If we had gone charging out, we'd have been a good 16 to 20k away, and all that is critical when trying to defend all those ships. What I also found was good as well with the bombers is firing off photon torpedoes. They're there to be used, but make sure you don't just, they're not fire and forget, you've got to guide them in. Alright, and if you do miss by any chance or break the lock before it makes contact, and it's down to the old lasers as well, see, without trying to crash into your TIE bombers. Now, give them a good thrashing. Normally I use linked weapons on this, but for a bit of speed,
Docking
a bit
operation
of
complete.
dramatic pose, I'm using singles. Putting the foot down now, I'm going to take out some of the other ones. TIE Bomber Alpha, we got a lock there. We're going to keep that lock on with the photon torpedo, and he's gone. So we're wearing down the bombers, right? TIE Bomber Alpha 1's got hull damage. There he is. Fire that missile off. Let's get him out of the equation. No dramas. They're gone. All we got to do now is handle the fighters. Now, we have got 3 other X-Wings with us, right? And the X-Wing's good old ship, good old all-rounder, space superiority fighter is what it is. And you can see where we've got hostiles. They're still a way out. There we've got some TIE fighters. The TIE bombers over by the unknown frigate. And you can see Red 1 and Red 2 right, are engaging fighters. Now we can zoom in and we can see as well that we're also in the mix. And we've got to take those fighters off, then fly over to the other side of the screen, or other side of the map, take out the bombers, take out the fighters before they really start to ruin our day. So good thing is, at least our ships are opening up. They're not just sat there going, oh, I don't know what to do with me guns. Oh, I don't know what to do. So there you go, look. Let's take out some TIE fighters. TIE Fighter Beta. Medevac 1 has dumped its wounded off and gone to hyperspace. Now it's chance for Medevac 2 to start docking. And you can see, you know, we're 5 minutes into this now, and only 1 shuttle has actually docked. And this game has got you chasing from one side of the map to the other, taking out TIE fighters as you go. And to think originally when I played this game back in the 90s, it was keyboard and mouse. Now I've got my old Saytech X52 hot ass. It's not doing the controls for the throttle, mind you, but it is really sensitive. And it takes a little bit of getting used to in the combat side of things. So again, we're taking out those TIE fighters, or trying to take out those TIE fighters. But if you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button and that notification icon if you've been enjoying the X-Wing series. Plenty more games to come. I mean, I've ordered Squadrons. I don't know, might spring for an Oculus Rift S. Because it's cheap. Well, I say cheap. It's not cheap at all. It's 300 quid. But you know, it is. I've been fancying VR for a time. Yes, I know it's got a cable attached to it, but some of the ones, like the next one up, hasn't got a cable attached for it, and the batteries only last 2 hours. Well, that's no good. I mean, as you know, I play an awful lot of Elite Dangerous. Hopefully, playing an awful lot of Squadrons as well. And I'm going to be sat at my desk. I'm not going to be wombling around wherever I'm going to go wombling around. And I don't really want having things set up around my room, making it look like Stonehenge. So I quite fancy a bit of that. So as you can see, I'm taking out more TIE bombers. Dual link lasers there are taking them on. Get some more firing out there. At least try and take one out. He's got hull damage. He won't be long. There's about 3 waves, I would say, of TIE bombers that come out of that Nebula Frigate. And after that, it's TIE fighters. So when playing, the TIE bombers are your utmost priority. Utmost priority here, right? And expect to be in this mission, right, down to about, for a good 18 minutes. That clock was around about 2 minutes when I finally finished it. But anyway, back onto the Oculus. I had a look at it, and I'd looked some reviews on YouTube and on the internet as well, and it does look really good. Yeah, the resolution isn't fantastic, but it's your eyes. My eyes aren't fantastic. I mean, I'm nearly 50, for God's sake. You know, it's going to be, it is what it is, and I think most up-to-date one they've got in that price range. It's got controllers. It's got a cable you stick in the back of the graphics card. The graphics card I got is a GTX 1070, 8GB, so that'll run it. Got loads of memory in the machine. That's okay. It's an i7. That's okay. More than the minimum spec. So, you know, it's not bad at all. So as you can see, Medevac Shuttle 2 has now entered hyperspace. That leaves number 3 to dock and do its funky thing, and then we've got to hang around for the Carillion Corvette, the Korolev, to do its thing as well. So, quite frustrating. It's not moving as fast as I want it to, but it is building a little bit of tension because the TIE fighters just keep coming, and they're getting more and more accurate as they do come. They're wearing down more and more shields. They're gaining in their lethality and difficulty. So hopefully the Medevac shuttle will get its way pretty soon. We've got, in fact, another 8 minutes of this to go before it gets over and done with. And I'm just going to start taking some of them out. Might as well use those photon torpedoes while I can. I'm not getting any more bombers now. It's all down to fighters. So it's just a case of keeping those fighters at bay. So, you know, we keep them away from the major transport. But what I have found with this mission is they start to draw you in closer and closer and closer to the Imperial frigate, the Imperial Nebula frigate. And as a result of this, it really is starting to put you in harm's way. Look, one Xwing is already down. There's only 3 of us left now. Fortunately, they're only launching 2 TIE fighters at a go. So that's manageable, providing nothing else happens. I haven't incurred too much damage, but that's only a matter of time. So, graphics aside, and I think we've seen Medevac 3 is now docked, so not long now. Graphics aside, and looking at the footage we've seen of Star Wars Squadrons, gameplay should be pretty much similar. Yes, there's going to be a multiplayer aspect to it as well, but you're going to be sat in a Xwing and a multitude of ships. You can customize your ships. EA has learned it's got away from loot boxes, which is great. You know, just buy the game. I don't want to embellish my ship with a pay-per-view thing, pay-per-play item, or different colour this, different colour that. I want to earn it in the game, and after I've earned it in the game, then I can put it in. Have all the content there, because, you know, graphical customizations and all that. Make yourself a little bit different. But, you know, why should you pay real-world money for something that you've already paid? And that was, I think, something that came out of Battlefront 2. People were like, what? You spent, you know, 40, 50 pounds or, you know, $60 on a game like Battlefront. And, you know, now they're asking for even more money. And of course, you know, the overlord of the mouse, who now owns the Star Wars franchise, turned around and said, hey, you know, you've got to reel it in. People were, you know, boycotting it. It really took the shine off a really good, you know, first player shooter combat game. It really did. So Medevac 3 has now entered hyperspace. It's the Corvette's turn. And with that, we can just stand around playing with these TIE fighters, trying not to get too dead or too shot. It's gone. It's entered hyperspace. Get the Carillion Corvette docked. Get its wounded transferred over. And then with that, we can then move on to the next mission. So in regards to EA and its use of the license, I mean, we've seen Fallen Jedi, Fallen Order, which was alright, but you know what, I got quite far in the game. It's the first Star Wars game I haven't completed. I just can't warm to it. I can't warm to this running around walls. It's obviously another game they've rebadged. Stuck a few force powers on. I really can't be bothered. There's nothing innovative there. I don't like it when they rebadge a game. With a flight sim, a flight sim's a flight sim, right? And they're always gonna compare Squadrons to Xwing. You know, and what's really changed in the 25 years since. So, when I see Fallen Jedi, and it's very similar to another game as well, that the same studio did, I just think, sigh. You know, shiny lightsabers and all that isn't enough to keep me engaged now. Right? Maybe they should have just brought back old Kyle Katarn. And that would have had more gravitas and more retro value, I think. But hey, that's my opinion. If anyone's still with me, 16 minutes into a 25-year-old game's video dogfighting content, then by all means, let me know in the comments section if indeed you think Kyle Katarn should come back as opposed to the other little Padawan Fallen Order Jedi guy who was in there. Couldn't even tell you what it is. Something ridiculous flying a ship. There was an older Jedi and then the young kid. Who knows? So, photon torpedoes are armed. Let's take out a few more. Can't be too much longer now before the Korolev docks, transfer its wounded. I've been shot. Look at that. I went all the way. I went 16 minutes without incurring any damage, and now it's burnt through my front shields and it's done all my lovely... It smoked my cockpit. Uber misses. So I'm just going to try and stay out of too much trouble now. Transfer my laser energy to my shields, such as they are. And then fly away and let the other X-Wings handle the TIE fighters that are currently still in play. Right, so I got my shields now reset from the text display at the bottom. I can transfer laser energy in and still recharge. Good to see the other X-Wings are still engaging. They really should, you know, speed up this medical transfer. So we're going to head towards the Redemption now. Going to get away from that other Nebula frigate. There's old R2 in the back.
Docking operation complete.
Docking operation complete. Brilliant. We really are coming down to the end of the mission now. Full shields. Full lasers. There's the Corvette. Undocked. There's the Nebula frigate moving off into hyperspace. And it's a case of wait till everybody else goes. We'll get the text at the bottom that says, hey, mission successful. There goes the Nebula frigate. No more TIE fighters being launched. They realised they couldn't take us out. X-Wings are jumping. There goes Red 3 and Red 1. Can't see anybody else. We're just waiting on the Korolev now to do its jump. There it is, it's accelerating away. Brilliant. And there endeth the mission of the Protect the Medical Evacuees. And the shuttles and the Corellian Corvette, the Korolev. Lost an X-Wing. Shot a load of TIE fighters, shot a load of TIE bombers. And now it's time to enter hyperspace and get back. But you do get a little bit of a cutscene at the end, which is quite good. and you get awarded a medal and everything. So what I'm going to say is, these little bits that pepper the game are great. So yeah, we're going back to Defiance, and here's our cutscene. Yeah, it's orbiting Orion 4, orbital bombardments. Look, there's AT-AT walkers advancing on the base. They've captured a load of rebels. Of course, rebels can only ever wear orange and white. The silhouette of a stormtrooper. Crashed A-wing. And then, look at this. They give us a medal. A base has fallen. They've lost loads of people. We've lost
on behalf of the Rebel
poor old Red 3. And then Mon Mothma gives us a medal. Well, I tell you what. There was some fancy flying go on, but it wasn't that fancy. And there's the medal I've got. Well, I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching. Quite a long mission, that good old 18 minutes, and this is turning into a 22-minute video. Thanks for watching. Check back for more videos in the series. Like and subscribe if you're still with me as well. You want to see more X-Wing or want to see it done. See you soon. Stay safe. Yes, and may the Force be with you.